it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a junk journal page. And this is made with some of the papers that I made during the 100 Days of Stencil Girl Challenge. These are made on tissue paper or rice paper with alcohol ink, and I was trying to use muted colors because this month in Art Joy of Sharing Art Community, our challenge is to use muted tones and to mix paints and mix colors to get more subtle palettes. So these papers were made using an ATC stencil, an ATC mashup stencil on tissue paper or rice paper using alcohol ink. I will put a link right now in the iCard that gives you the video link to where I made these papers so that you can see how they were made. I made this set of more dark and subdued tones, and then I also made a set of bright ones that are reds and pinks, really bright. And just the technique of that if you're interested in making these thin papers with alcohol ink. I don't really like to use UPO and coated papers and photo paper as collage fodder, so that's why I figured I would make them on more thin paper, but I had to, of course, figure out how to do that. So that video is linked in the iCard above. You can just hover over the right upper corner of the video and it will show you that link. Of course, you might want to finish watching this one before you go to that one. Makes sense. So I'm doing the whole background, covering the whole background in these pieces of alcohol inked paper. I like the colors of alcohol ink. They come in a lot of really intense colors. I also like that it's permanent, so as I'm going over it with my matte gel medium, it's not smearing or smooshing or, I don't have to worry about that. It just stays right where it is, and I can see all the patterns from the different little stencils. ATC stencils are 3.5 by 2.5 inches, so they're small stencils, but you get 9 of them on one page from Stencil Girl products. So this one I think was designed by Mary Beth Shaw, if I remember correctly. I'm also using a little bit of paper from tea bags, used tea bags. You let them dry, cut open the end, dump out the dry tea, and then you have this very thin stained paper with that lovely tea color on it, and it's really great to use as a blender over the top. Like if you have an edge where there's a very harsh line, you can put some of that paper over the top and it kind of blends it in. So once my background was done, I did a little bit of stenciling over the top with the same stencils. So I like this one that looks kind of like tangled vines or something, tree branches, maybe bamboo. I think it's an interesting stencil, and these little stencils are fun because you can just throw them in your bag if you're traveling or something. I cut them all apart. It comes on like a 9 by 12 piece of Mylar with 9 designs. I cut them up and then I punch holes in the corner and put them on a wire key ring to keep them together. And I can just grab one of those and throw it in a bag if I'm gonna work on a journal somewhere that's not my studio. Because sometimes you have to sit at places like doctor's offices or the airport or things like that. It's nice to have something to do while you're doing that, and you can just take a little travel watercolor set and a few stencils and you can have some fun. So the next thing I did was I got out some titanium buff paint and I mixed a little bit of this it's probably, I don't know what color it is, a dark brown, in with it to make it just slightly darker. And I'm using those colors that I'm mixing on my palette to emphasize or extend the area of that stencil. Just because you've stenciled an area that's 3.5 by 2.5, it doesn't mean it has to be contained there. You can take a little brush and you can draw out the lines and make them longer, or in this case I'm painting in between the lines and just enhancing that pattern because it's an interesting pattern. I like it. So that's why I was doing that. I thought it looked cool. It also lightened up that left-hand corner because, of course, these papers that I made are pretty dark. They're pretty intense colors, and butterscotch and olive and oregano and lettuce and all those ones that are named after roughage. I don't know if there's a cabbage. I'm not sure. And then this dark purple one and the sepia brown type colors that might have been, maybe it might have even been something like a dark gray smoke. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever ones I picked. But I did want those more uh, toned down colors because of the whole challenge for the month. So then this one has, this other little stencil from the same set has 4 little leaf patterns on it. And I decided to use this one that kind of looks like a fern, sort of, to add some foliage to my vines or whatever they are, just for fun. Make it a little bit botanical, because these colors do seem a bit botanical to me. So I thought that would be a good choice. And I'm using a, I bought a couple sets of those makeup brushes that are kind of like toothbrushes off of Amazon, and I use those to stencil. When I'm done stenciling with it with the paint, I just throw it in the water so that the paint doesn't dry down on the brush, and you can just keep reusing them over and over. And this little tiny round one is good for like the type of stenciling where you go pat, 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 not rub, 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 rub. Because if you rub it back and forth, the paint will get under the stencil, but you can certainly do it that way. So I toned down a little bit of this chromium oxide green and putting on some green leaves as well. So that's always fun. Adding them here and there, just trying to get a composition going here. I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. Then I decide that maybe I want to add a moon because this looks dark. It looks like you're in the jungle and you're, you know, walking through maybe a moist, wet environment of vines, and it's kind of scary and a little bit mysterious and weird. And so I thought it would be fun to maybe add a moon, and I decided to make it have a face. So I painted with some of that mixed Naples yellow or something mixed with some titanium buff to make this circle. Maybe there's a little bit of nickel azole gold in there or something. I don't know. And then I was drawing a face onto it with my graphite pencil and blending out the graphite a little bit with a wet water brush. Because you can do that with graphite, it is water soluble. And then I started to paint it, and it took very, very, very many layers. And you'll see me continue to go back and change it, and that's the kind of the way I work on whimsical faces. Is I just keep adding paint until I'm happy, trying to get the shadows and the highlights and different stuff going with it so that it looks dimensional. And moon faces, the classic moon face has, of course, the very puffy cheeks, and so I'm trying to put in some darker shadows around the eyes and under the cheek area where it should get deeper. And I keep lightening it and darkening it and lightening it and darkening it. It just happens that way. And so I really wasn't sure what I was doing here, but I started to think about that song that has the words "Dark Side of the Moon." And, that idea of whatever's on the other side of the moon, we can't see it because it never is turned towards us. So there's like this whole dark side of the moon that we can't ever see. And, the theories about there being maybe an alien base or an alien city out there. And we don't know because we don't ever see that side of the moon. We only see the one that's constantly facing us. And that's just kind of what my head was doing while I was doing this. It's like, oh, that's pretty mysterious. And this whole page kind of looks mysterious like that. Dark and scary, and maybe you're not sure what's out there. Like even if it was just a jungle, you're not sure what's out there. You don't know if there's things that are stalking you, like a jaguar or something. You don't know if there's snakes or spiders. Gross. Probably some pretty birds, but it's nighttime, so they're not out. Maybe there's some monkeys. So I was just kind of thinking about all that stuff, and that's where this page went. I don't know why, it just did. I decided to make a little silhouette body. Maybe my moon face is kind of turning into a jungle nature spirit or something. Um, Started out as a moon. Who knows what it ended up as? And still just adding more layers. And I'm using that water tank brush with the acrylic paint, and that gives me a looser paint. You know, this is a more of a heavy body paint, but when I use the water brush with it, I get thinner, less opaque layers. So then I just keep layering one color over another, to try to create depth and interest on my features of my face. The only problem with this is it takes a long time. You just keep fussing. And the neck was driving me crazy because I wanted the neck to kind of show, but I wanted it to have that shadow under where the chin would be. I just kept going back and forth with it, putting light, putting dark, until I was thoroughly annoyed. I had to quit and go do something. So this is like maybe the next day. So now all the paint's kind of dried down. Everything's dry. And coming back in with some copper colored paint. You know, copper's the best metallic, in my opinion. I just really love it. So I decided to put a copper crown on. I put a little bit of copper on the lips and on the highlight of the eyes, which are a mossy green color with a copper highlight. Then I started messing with that neck again. That is way too bright. First it's too dark, then it's too bright. So then I'm lightening up the cheeks and the chin and the nose again. Try to make everything balance. I know I was a bit frustrated. I probably sound now a bit frustrated because it's like, ugh. And where's the light coming from anyway? Well, the light's coming from the sun, but the sun's not out. So it's only a reflection onto the moon. I think I've switched to a smaller brush now, just a regular paintbrush instead of the water brush with a small end to it. So this would be, of course, part of hashtag AJOS Muted Tones, which is our March theme in Art Joy of Sharing. If you haven't joined the group yet over on Facebook, you can always ask to join. There's a link below the video. Make sure that you answer the questions that pop up when you ask to join, because otherwise we will not accept you. We try really hard to keep people from spamming that group and causing a lot of extra stuff by posting ads for things and stuff like that. We don't allow any of that. It's just for art. Posting art, sharing art. That's it. Only art. So then I put a bit of that dark sepia brown tone around the outside of the figure so that it would stand out from the background and appear to be integrated in the background. So still continuing on with the lines of the stencils. Some of that stencil I stenciled on after the fact, but some of it's actually in the paper that I glued on first. So I'm just continuing those interesting shapes and lines and divisions of lines that look like vines and also are kind of grid-like, which is why I think I remember it was designed by Mary Beth Shaw. She really likes grids. Even if they're lines in vines, she likes grids. So then I did add a little bit of a peachy pink tone in. It's a color from Hobby Lobby that's that Master's Touch paint, but it's called pink, but I think it's peach. They should have called it peach. It's very orangey colored. But I think it coordinates well with that copper. So I added that to the cheeks and the lips a little bit. I think I'm almost done. I'm still just fussing with the face. You know, I fuss a long time with faces. But This page is almost completed, so if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below. Tell me what you think is on the dark side of the moon. Do you think there's an alien base over there and that's how they come and visit us on Earth by just, having that short flight from the moon to here? And we don't know because it's the dark side. Or do you think there's nothing over there and it's just a bunch of nothingness with nothingness on top? Who knows? Someday I suppose humans will go there and explore it. And maybe we'll find out, but probably not in our lifetime, I would guess. So this is a Pentel type of a brush that has a sepia-toned watercolor ink in it, and I'm using that to write the dark side of the moon on the right-hand side of my page. Something about these junk journals that's always kind of crazy is that the pages are not the same size. So you end up seeing stuff that's behind it, and who knows what it'll be. A little bit of copper splashes, and that is it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll try to put some links in the box below. And you can always join my membership. We have exclusive content coming out on the 15th. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.